Guys, I'm in beautiful sunny Las Vegas. I'm in a 2020 Aston Martin Vantage, and I'm on the way now to go pick up my girlfriend to see what she thinks of the car. So stay tuned. What do you think?
Gorgeous, just gorgeous. It looked so pretty when it was pulling up.
So we're gonna go drive the car somewhere, stop, take a look at it so you guys can actually get a visual of the car, do a quick review, and then go on the drive. But first impression, she likes the car, which is a success.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up, absolutely. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel, Roadrunners Reviews. My name is Ben. If you're not familiar with the channel, I am an auto enthusiast. I review cars, I test drive them, and I give my opinion on them. So if you like this content, please like the video, please comment below, and please subscribe to my channel. Now today I'm in beautiful Las Vegas, and I got the pleasure of driving the 2020 Aston Martin Vantage. That's the performance of this car. It is a V8 twin turbo motor out of AMG. This produces 505 horsepower with 503 foot-pounds of torque. Now this is an 8-speed automatic gearbox, but you do have the option for a manual transmission and an upgraded AMR trim. Now that car starts around $183,000 and is the top of the line of the Vantage models. Now mirror with this auto manufacturer, they've been around for 100 plus years, hand building expensive but beautiful sports cars for everybody to enjoy. They're out of Britain. Claim to fame is really through the James Bond films 007 for the DB series of this car. Now this is actually the entry-level version of this car, which is the Vantage. This was started in 2005. This is the first year they have refreshed it in 15 years. Luckily, I get to drive in the area where people really appreciate it. So the one question I do have for this car is this a sports car or a grand touring car? We'll find out. Alright guys, so let's just do a quick walk around in the car while we're here. Start off with the front. The front of the car is absolutely menacing with the LED lights here. You do have the front splitter, but it's built into the grille. Very, very beautiful. You have sensors throughout the front of the grille, which are active, but really well hidden, so you can't really tell what they are. Of course, the beautiful Aston Martin logo right on the front with the elongated hood. 2 hood scoops on the opposite sides of the car. Really make this car menacing looking, very sophisticated but at the same time sleek, and has really big curves. As we make our way to the side profile of the car, you have 19-inch wheels on the front, and then you have 20-inch wheels on the back. Very wide stance for this Aston Martin, very low to the ground. You have a functional, basically vent here that's for aerodynamics that continues through the curve of the car. One of Aston Martin's basically unique features is the door handles, how seamless they are. And when they open, they actually open up instead of just straight out. What this is supposed to be for, what people have said this is supposed to be for, is to clear curbs that are high curbs in downtown areas, and also give that cool butterfly looking effect that you see in the Aston Martin logo. As we continue down the side, you can just continue to see the sleekness of the curves, the contour of the body. As you make your way to the back of the car, I think this is the star of the show. The LED lights here are absolutely seamless. It looks like a wave going through an ocean. Just basically art in my opinion. The oversized spoiler or diffuser on the bottom here is absolutely beautiful. It definitely showcases that this is a sports car, not just a luxury coupe. And then also to top it off with the beautiful sounding quad exhaust, which I'll plug in the clip here so you guys can hear what the exhaust actually sounds like. complaints I do have on the back end here are going to be these two parts. I've heard that these are only for the American versions of this car, and they can easily be removed, and I feel like nobody would care if you did. But I think that's something that Aston Martin needs to put on this car in order to ship it here to the US. Other than that, the car is just beautiful. It demands almost attention without really being distracting to a lot of people. It definitely gives me a mix of different car vibes. I like in the front how it gives me that Vulcan-esque vibe, which is, you know, the high-end, very expensive Aston Martin color or car. But still, for the entry point, $153,000. I know a lot of people might complain about that price point, but for the way cars are going nowadays, I think this is a good buy. Especially if you wait a few years and let it depreciate and then buy it. I think you're going to come up with a really beautiful car. All right, now for the interior of the car. Well done, Aston Martin. For years, I really didn't like the interior of the Aston Martin. I felt like they definitely lean more towards a Grand Touring for the previous generation of this vehicle. Now with the complete blacked out suede inside, you have really that more sport compact cockpit that really kind of has a little bit of the luxury feel to it and the attention to detail. What I do like in the interior is how the button layouts are. As you can see here, you have the engine start, reverse, park, neutral, drive, just buttons easily to see, easily to find when you're on the road and need to quickly maneuver. You also have all the switches here for your controls. You also have the unlock lock button here. You have basically all the infotainment system here, and the infotainment system, again, just like the motor, as I mentioned earlier, is from Mercedes-Benz, so very familiar in those aspects to this. I will say that it looks like it's from a previous generation, so as far as the graphics on the navigation, it isn't as new as you would like for a $153,000 car. However, I mean, when you're picking up a car like this, you're not necessarily thinking about, you know, those type of features. You do have the Bluetooth capability, so it does connect to your phone for voice and media. It doesn't have Apple CarPlay, which I know might be a complaint for some people, but for the most part, it's totally fine. On the dash, you have the digital instrument cluster that shows your speed, miles per gallon, and all that stuff. It's very easy to read, very bright at night driving and during the day. I will say the visibility just sitting here in the cockpit of the car, very good, very open. The only thing I would complain about, there are blind spots behind both B-pillars that are a good size, but usually in hatches, you typically have those blind spots. The elongated side mirrors are great to be able to see out of. They're nice and large and not too skinny. My only complaint is the volume control on the car really is hard to maneuver, and then also kind of going with interior, the stereo system in the base model is very lacking. I've been in, you know, $20,000 cars that have way better stereo systems, which is pretty shocking to me. There's no bass, and it's just not that great. The steering wheel is very easy to control. It's a squared off steering wheel. It has a sport function on the right, and then also the ability to control the suspension gears or the suspension kind of dampness of it just on the left of the steering wheel. You do have the paddle shifters with stay position, which I love. They don't stay on the steering wheel, so when you do turn and maneuver the car, they stay positioned so you can easily switch out. It does have the Bluetooth buttons on the steering wheel, and then also the volume gauge as well on the steering wheel. As far as the doors go, the suede continues all throughout the headliner, the seats, the dash, everywhere. It's this continued theme, and it's very, very beautiful. The bucket seats in this car are very comfortable, very easy to drive for long distance, and definitely feel snug. So if you do get you know, on a longer trip or go to the track, you do have the best of both worlds. So this continues the conversation of what my question was earlier. Is this a Grand Tour car or a sports car? I feel like in the interior, as far as the way it's laid out, it's definitely a compromise of both. The exterior definitely, again, it has the compromise of both of an aggressive looking car, but with the sensational curves. So it definitely looks more luxury, sport, both meshed together. All right, so enough in the interior. Let's go ahead and wrap this up and go for a drive and then get some more performance out of this car. All right, guys, we're in the car. Getting really the first drive of the car. Absolutely beautiful driving vehicle. Overall, this car is, if you're not familiar, it's a V8 twin turbo motor straight from Mercedes-Benz AMG department. It produces 505 horsepower with 503 foot-pounds of torque. Has an 8-speed automatic gearbox and does 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. Very impressive car, but for a price point or sticker price of $153,000, it is higher than some of their competitors and produces a little bit less horsepower. However, with this car, the way it's driven, the way it's unique, and the heritage of Aston Martin, it's more of that Grand Tour Sport hybrid mix together. So you're able to get a lot of the track ready performance out of it, but still not sacrifice on ride quality and longevity when you go on the longer road trips. Right now we've been in Vegas for 3 days, and then we've been driving this for 2 days. Absolutely loving the car. I'm glad you're enjoying the car. I'm glad I'm enjoying the car. And yeah, some of my favorite parts of the car is, in the performance department, is exactly how lively the car is and how light it feels. The rear wheel drive car, this can easily get the back end loose, and if you really need to hold it drift, it can. This is definitely a fun track day car, but an everyday driver's car. Exhaust note, as you can hear it. It's everything you need in a sports car. Just very lively, low rumbles at low RPM. When you really step on the gas, it really lets loose and just screams for you. Downshifting in this car just lets that exhaust note really sing. I'm in love with that exhaust by itself. Again, this is, I could tell, I just want to take this to the track. And really enjoy it and really kind of push it, but at the same time I don't need to. It has that fun factor even when you're just driving on the street or just kind of going through your daily routines. It really puts a smile on my face just for the limited time that I do have it. Look, it has a smile on her face.
First time all day.
With the interior, I will say that the storage in the car is very minimal. Again, it's a sports car, so comparing storage isn't really that big of a difference maker. I will say that with the hatch, you do have the ability to add a little bit more trunk space and a few other things. I'm able to fit suitcases back there, backpacks, all that stuff. And they do have a little flap right there that allows you to access the trunk or close it off to you. One complaint I do have, I can tell aerodynamics of the car kicks up a lot of the wind around the window. So what that does is it allows for the seat belt, when you do hit higher speeds, to really flap on the back of your shoulder and the back on the seat. That's one thing that I don't really like on the car. However, again, it's one of those minor things, but it's something that's noteworthy, something to really kind of know. Typically, if you're going speeds of 60 or above, you're not going to have the window open, or else you're just going to really have to deal with this slap in the back of your neck or back. In Sport Plus mode, the brakes are really jerky, but again, the stopping power in this car is very, very good. The acceleration on this car is good as well. 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. Again, not as fast as the Porsches, but it has a little bit more of that liveliness to it with the rear-wheel drive system that isn't just all about speed. Sometimes buying a car, it's not practical in some ways. So like, you can buy a car that's more of a driver's car versus a car that will give you Nürburgring numbers, because at the end of the day, it's about the driver anyways. So just keep that in mind if you are looking to buy this car. One thing I will notice in the car, besides me being in Sport Plus mode, having the exhaust baffles open and really being able to hear the exhaust, I love, but the road noise is pretty noticeable. It's not as quiet in the cabins as other cars, but then again, that kind of tests too is being a sports car. If I put it back in just regular sports mode, now I'm tracked, but let me put it in sports mode, which is no regular drive mode, it's just sport. Quiets down a little bit, but that cabin noise is still there. So that's just something to notice. We're going around 70 miles an hour on the freeway. The channel, please like, comment, subscribe to my channel, as well as like this video, and then let me know how I'm doing. doing. The more people that watch this video, the more people that subscribe to my channel, the more I can produce better and better content and get better at my craft. So I appreciate you watching deeply.